That is what we're eating. We're eating machinery lubricant that's
Goodness.
been cleaned up a little bit more to look golden
Oh,
and pretty in a bottle with no smell and no taste. And
no.
it's all just chemicals and heat and refinement. But if you see that big slurry going around in the vat with all those chemicals and foam and crud, you're
What?
going to go, oh, yeah.
Welcome to Body Sculpt of New York 6 Weeks to Fitness podcast. And now, here's your host, Vince Ferguson.
Welcome to 6 Weeks to Fitness, episode 242. I'm your host, Vince Ferguson. Today, I'm joined by Cherie Calbom, known worldwide as the Juice Lady. Cherie is a whole food nutritionist and the author of 36 books. Now, where does she find the time? Including the best-selling Juicing for Life. And today, we're talking about the best foods and juices for healthy aging after 40, along with sugar, seed oils, healthy fats, and some practical things you can start doing right now to improve your health. Cherie, thank you for coming on 6 Weeks of Fitness. How are you?
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I love your show. I love your term health span. My goodness, I think we're going to have a great show because we have control over that. It's
Yes.
uh, all our decision. What we eat, exercise, think, move, all of that is part of the whole picture for a healthy body and a healthy mind.
And it seems like we've given up the power to someone else, you know?
Yes. Oh my goodness. So who are we giving the power to? A lot of advertisers, for one, they make
Yes.
everything look very attractive and delectable. And so we
Yes.
want all to try those horrible foods that are loaded with chemicals and excuse me, dyes and all sorts of fillers and additives, and on it goes. And it's
Yes.
processed, and we're getting a whole bunch of refined carbohydrates in most of the foods that are packaged. And we need real food, real life
Yes.
food.
Yes.
RFK just started a show with a chef cooking real food because people
Wow.
don't know. They don't know how to cook real food.
Wow. Isn't that something? Yeah, we're going to touch on all that because that is really the key. What you put into your body, what you put into your mouth determines how you look, how you feel, how you think. And that's why I'm glad to have you here, Cherie. And, millions of people know you as the juice lady. But what first drew you into juicing and nutrition?
Well, I was really sick in my 20s. I had chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, and I couldn't work. I had to quit my job and move back home and sleep 12 hours a day and wake up feeling sick, like I had the flu all the time, a low-grade fever, and I ached all over. And no doctor knew how to help me. And for chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, they still don't. They don't just manage those diseases, and people just continue to get worse. But I was determined to get well, and I knew there had to be a way. There had to be a way out of where I was.
Huh.
And so I finally went to health food stores and talked to people there, and they did have some things to suggest to me, like my diet was all wrong. I love fast food and junk food. I like to go through the drive-through at the end of the workday, and get my little whatever in a bag. And I was a sugar addict, and I
Mm.
hated vegetables. No wonder I was sick, right? And
Right.
so I decided I was going to go on a 5-day vegetable juice fast because I had heard about juicing, and I got my first juicer. And I did 5 days of just juices. And on the fifth day, my body expelled a tumor this size, the size of a golf ball, with
Oh,
blue blood vessels attached. Like 4 or 5 of them looked like somebody cut them. Somebody
wow.
had. I call it God scissors or nature scissors. Visitin, luteolin, and apigenin are three of them that cut off angiogenesis, and that's the growth of blood vessels to tumors to feed them and cause them to grow. And it's right in our food. If we only knew that we have the power to ingest all of these beautiful vegetables and get an abundance of them with juicing, that more than you could eat. Like, you wouldn't eat probably an entire bunch of celery, but you could drink it in one glass. Well,
Yes.
celery, I'm bringing that up because it is so rich in apigenin and luteolin, two of those powerful phytonutrients that cut off that growth. And the leaves are even richer. Who chomps up on the leaves of celery? Not too many of us, but you can juice them along with the ribs and get all of those incredible nutrients that help your body heal and restore and give it energy. But listen, after that 5 days, I thought, I'm going to be well tomorrow, right? We think in terms of do this, and then you're cured and then you just go on with your life. And I thought, okay, I got rid of this and I'm going to be well, but I wasn't. So I thought, okay, I've got to stick with what I'm doing and add in food. So I went to a plant-based diet and kept juicing. But in 3 months, I did wake up one morning and feel like somebody gave me a new body the night before. I felt like jogging. So my body had been healing all along. It was just that day I realized it, I felt it. And so I called that the best cure on earth and moved back to California and thought, okay, I can go back to my way of life now, my friends. The pizzas and the cheeseburgers and the fries and the shakes and go out with them. And oh no, I realized I can't do that. I can't eat like that, and I can't do that. This has got to be my way of life. If I want to be healthy, I've got to design a program and figure out how I'm going to adapt it to my lifestyle and make it work. And it took a while, slow. How much can I get away with, right? But
Right.
I finally went back to school and got a Master of Science in Whole Foods Nutrition so I could be a credible source of information and help other people.
So would you say like this is your mission in life?
Yes, it is my life mission.
Yeah.
And I know this is why I'm here. We all have a mission. We all have a purpose. This is why we came to the earth.
Yes.
There's something, that we're to do
Right.
to help mankind to be better, to live better, to whatever, think, feel, act better, whatever. But we all have a mission. And I know this is my mission. I've known it for decades now.
Wow, that is beautiful. It's nothing like knowing why you're here. I believe there was a quote by someone who said the most two important days of your life is the day you were born and the day you find out why.
I love that. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's the why are we here? And so many people don't know why they're here. My
Mm.
husband and I have done health and wellness retreats for 15 years. And that has been the thing we've tried to target a lot. Who am I? What is my purpose? Is his class. He's a psychotherapist and behavioral medicine person. And so we've tried to help people find their purpose because what I've found is that if you don't know your purpose, it doesn't compel you forward to make the sacrifices that you
Yes.
need to make to be healthy, which in the end, I don't consider a sacrifice at all. Like I haven't had a dessert in decades. I don't even
Really?
go near that. I look at it as poison. But
Man.
in the beginning, it was a sacrifice. Now it's not. It's a choice. It's a way of life. I know that I feel fabulous when I don't eat stuff like that and a whole bunch of other junky things. But,
Yes.
we won't make the sacrifices, the changes, the choices if we don't know why we're here, if there isn't something compelling to get us off the couch and stop eating chocolates or chips or whatever, is our
Ooh,
favorite snack.
yes, yes, drugs. But for a lot of people watching this program will be they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. So, well, why does juicing become especially important in our stage of life?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the older that we get, the harder it is to stay healthy. Many people say that, your organs have to work so much harder. So a lot of people have compromised digestive tracts.
Mm.
It's just kind of how we all grew up. Most of us were not fed the perfect diet, let's say. We
Yeah,
grew
yeah.
up on boxed things and fast foods or
Yes.
things that weren't real whole foods all the time. And it's just impaired a lot of people's digestive tracts. Well, juice is broken down so well, it can bypass the problems and get right into your system. So even if you have a problem gut, maybe you have irritable bowel syndrome or leaky gut syndrome, or your digestion isn't great. Well, juice is broken down, so it's going to help you out and it's going to get right into your system and start feeding your cells. So when you get these raw juices, what are you getting? Vitamins, minerals, enzymes, biophotons, phytonutrients, antioxidants.
Yes.
uh, Biophotons are extremely important. The photons come from the sun. The plants absorb them. We eat the
Mm.
plants or juice the plants. We're getting these photons. Do you know what they
Yes.
feed? The mitochondria of your cells, those little
Easy.
energy units, that produce ATP or energy fuel.
Mm.
Well, a
Yes.
lot of people are not getting biophotons. They don't eat
Yes.
anything raw or very lightly cooked, where it's
Right.
still preserving some things. they don't eat like that. And
Huh.
so they're missing out on one important thing, but then other important things that also feed the mitochondria, the different nutrients. Well, when we feed the mitochondria, most people say to me when they start juicing, "Oh, I feel a little better. I have a little more energy," and that's what we want. We want you to be energized so that you can make a real meal for dinner, real food, and not just pop something in the microwave that you bought in the frozen food section, but make
Right.
some real food in your kitchen because it doesn't take that much. And you have enough energy for 20 or 30 minutes to make a real meal. And now you're going to feel better and you're going to sleep better at night and you're going to
Huh.
wake up feeling better and you feel like exercising. It's just a good circle, not a vicious circle of spiral down, but a
Right.
spiral up.
Right. But when you first try to change your eating habits and start juicing, it seems like it's a hard road to toe at first. Why is that?
Change is hard for everybody.
Change
We
is
just
hard.
typically innately don't like change, right? We
Right.
we like the little rut we're in. It's familiar. We
Yes.
know it. We know it very well. We may not be happy in it, but we know it. And everyone says this. If you listen to different psychologists or behavioral medicine experts, they'll all say people just inherently don't like change. So along comes something new. We've got to think about it. We've got to make a little extra effort to get going and create a new habit. After a while, it's a habit. And
Right.
so, it's a new, if you want to call it a rut or a lane you're in, but in the beginning, it's hard. And we've got to figure things out. And we've maybe got to get some new equipment, like maybe you need a juicer. And
Right.
you need to get a good juicer,
Yeah.
not just a crummy one that you'll hate and stop using, soon after you get into it. And well, I'm just going to talk about it right now, so don't forget to tell you. The one I love is the Nama J2. Nam Mary A. Nama J like John 2. It is fabulous because it's got two chambers. The upper chamber is where you put your chopped produce, and it doesn't have to be cut up in little teeny pieces like some juicers require. You just
Right.
chop it enough to get it in there. Close the lid, turn it on, walk away. It juices for you. You don't have
Mm.
to stand there and go like this and
Yeah,
feed
that's what I
produce
did.
in. Yeah, it juices for you. And it's cold pressed, it's quiet, it's
Mm.
fast, and it's easy to clean. Those are all the boxes you want to check off when you're
Right.
when you're looking for a juicer. And if you use my code Juice Lady, you get $60 off. How cool?
$60 off.
How cool is that? You
That is
also get
very
free
cool.
shipping. So I encourage you to juice because I always say to people, you will never know how good you can feel unless you give this a try, unless you give juicing a try. And
Yes.
there's skeptics like, oh, I don't know if it's worth the time, the effort, shopping for the produce. It is so worth it. You feel so good when you do. I promise you.
I believe you. I have a Jack LaLanne juicer, okay, from
Yeah.
back in the day. It's time
Yeah.
to upgrade that a little bit.
Oh, you'll be happy
Yes,
when
I'm
you
gonna
do.
look into that. Yeah, for real. I will look into that and use your code, Juice Lady.
Juice Lady, all one
Love
word.
that. What do you think is the number one biggest misconception about juicing for people over 40? What do you think is the number one misconception?
I hear it a lot. Oh, there's too much sugar in juice.
There you
And
go.
and people ask me that all the time. Like, why would I want to juice? There's just too much sugar, right? So what I say is don't juice just fruit. Because yeah, there is. Like if you have just a big glass of orange juice, now some
Mhm.
people can get away with that and they're okay. But a
Right.
lot of us can't.
Mm.
So we need to do the 80-20 rule. 80% vegetables, 20% fruit. So what would that look like for a glass of juice? You might have a cucumber or a zucchini because both of those are very rich in juice, and then
Right.
put an apple with it. And I love ginger. I put ginger
Me
in
too.
everything. Do you?
Yes.
Yeah, it adds some spice, some flavor, but it adds so much in the way of anti-inflammatory. And we
Mm.
all seem to be prone these days because of just the Western world where we live and eat. We're
Yes.
prone to inflammation, and low-grade inflammation is just at the root of every disease, every condition you could name. So we want to keep that inflammation down. We want to keep our heart healthy. We want to keep the inflammation markers down in our body, like histamine and CRP and LPA.
Yes.
And so
Oh,
I put ginger in everything, ginger in everything. I hope you like
wow.
spice. And then you could add a little lemon if you wish. I freshen things up with some lemon. You could add a carrot or two, play around with it, see what you like. I don't usually put beets and carrots in the same recipe because they're both very high sugar vegetables. But
Okay.
some people can get away with that, and you're
Yes,
okay.
I believe
You
it.
might want to put a leaf of green, like kale or chard. That gives you so many minerals. Your green leaves are just rich in minerals.
Kale.
So that's what a glass of juice would look like. And when people say there's too much sugar in juice, they never think of what I just named. Or a big glass of celery juice. Celery juice was very popular a few years ago. Like everybody
Yes.
was juicing celery and they were all talking about it. It is so good for you. I finally did a research on studies on celery juice, and found that it has been shown in scientific studies to lower blood sugar, lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, and fight cancer in the little humble celery. So it
Oof.
is recommended to have it on an empty stomach if you can tolerate the taste of just celery by itself. If you
Yes.
can't, add something to it. I mean, they say it's best plain, but some people say, oh no, there's no way. I just can't stand the taste. Well, then put some apple with it and maybe some lemon and ginger, and chug a lug on down.
Yes. Oh, that sounds really good. This is like nature's candy, you know?
Oh, it is. It is so good for you. Nature's best. That's
Nature's
there. I
best.
think there's a supplement or something with anyway, but
Yes.
this is nature's best. The other uh, uh, contrary thing that they say about juicing is fiber. Well, it has no fiber. Well, that's
Yes.
not true. It has soluble fiber. The insoluble definitely is ejected, it's separated out. So eat a high fiber diet. Your glass of juice isn't your end all for getting your fiber for the day, it's for getting your vitamins, minerals, enzymes, phytonutrients, biophotons. It's a huge glass, like a big supplement
Wow.
of liquid nutrients that your
Huh.
body can absorb so easily. So consider it that, and it is not what you're going to drink to get your insoluble fiber, but get that from your vegetables and your fruit and your whole grains and so forth.
Hmm. Oh, very good. Good advice. And you're right. Those are some two of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to juicing. I hear it all the time, you
Yeah.
know. And I personally, I juice. I don't juice as often as I used to. But I'm trying to get right back to it. But I do a smoothie every day, and I'm wondering if the smoothie may be too much to do every day. You know what I mean? What's your take on that?
Oh no, you can have a smoothie every day. Well, depending on what you're putting in it.
Putting in it, right? I have
Yeah,
all kind of fruit, mostly
fruit,
fruit, like
vegetables.
no vegetables in my smoothie. No.
Oh, I'd start tucking in something. Spinach blends up very, very well in your smoothie.
Mhm.
Parsley does also. So the softer little leaves will blend up quite well. But that's why I say, because a lot of people say, well, shouldn't I just make a smoothie and then I've got all the fiber in there?
Right,
Smoothies are great. They have their place. But the thing is, we don't usually blend up tougher vegetables that are really rich in fiber because it's kind of mushy. It's not very palatable. That's
right.
where juicing comes in and helps you get so many of those beautiful vegetables that maybe you'd never eat. A
Yeah,
lot of people
sure.
wouldn't choose like a big fennel with the fronds and the stem and all in the
Right.
flowers and all of that, or you
Yes.
wouldn't choose a stem of broccoli to eat, but you can juice it. A big leaf of chard or kale, you might not eat that in a whole week, but you can juice it. So this is allowing us to get a lot of vegetables that maybe we wouldn't even try, and all the nutrients in those vegetables that are so important for our health. And then there's a study on synergy, and it was looking at how different combinations of vegetables and fruit work together because they offer different nutrients and they're more powerful together than even alone.
Hmm. And you wrote a book about this.
I did, Juicing for Life,
For
and
life.
that is my 50 different ailments book. So you
50.
can take it and use it like a physician's desk reference, the PDR. Look
Yeah.
at what ails you, like headache or insomnia or high cholesterol,
Mm.
cancer, you name it. It's diabetes, it's in there. And you can find the
Really?
juices, the diet, the nutrients, and other lifestyle interventions that would really help you with those conditions.
What about asthma?
It's in there. Yes. I've
Really?
got recommendations. And definitely for asthma, you want to cut down on inflammation. So ginger and turmeric are going to be good friends.
Oh
They're
boy.
both anti-inflammatory.
Nice. I love this. And, as we get older, a lot of people complain. They talk to me about having low energy. You mentioned that digestive issues. And what about weight loss?
Oh,
Can you speak to that when it comes to juicing?
yes. And I'm so glad you brought that up because too many people are relying on GLP-1s, and there are some issues with that.
Oh my goodness.
Some
Yes.
major gut issues, pancreas, and other organs and systems of the body. So I think we're going to pay a big price down the line when people start reporting on, oh my goodness,
I'm hearing it
you
already.
know,
Yes.
right, yeah, I'm hearing it too. It's wrecking people's bodies. So
Yes.
what we want is to design a program that is going to work for life, and it's going to help us not be so hungry. It's going to, I was just working on my newsletter for tomorrow on the hormones like ghrelin and leptin, and we want to bring down the one that causes us to want to eat more, and we want to improve the one that curbs our appetite. And so how do we do that? And how, so there's some things that we want to avoid as much as we can that contribute to inflammation, because an inflammatory system is going to get us all out of whack, and
Yes.
to where we're craving the wrong things and not craving the good things and wanting to eat stuff that isn't good for us. And then our body not shutting off, where I've had people say, gosh, I'm just always hungry. I eat a meal and I'm still hungry. Like,
Yeah.
half hour afterward, I still want more. And so we want to have a good hormonal balance and control of our appetite. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we want real live food. We were just talking about that. That's where the juices come in. They can be so helpful. My morning starts with juices, and then I make a smoothie, but my smoothie is with fresh vegetable juice. Just before our show, I had a green smoothie that was made with cucumber, fennel, and ginger. And
Wow.
then I poured it in my Vitamix and added a big avocado, blended all that up, and shared it with my husband. I put some sunflower seeds on top because I like a little crunch in there.
Mm.
Those are like croutons to me.
Yes.
And it was very energizing. And
Mm.
I'm not hungry at all. And so
Really?
and I did a Pilates class this morning, so I ran off quickly for that. I only had a few seeds before my Pilates class and some tea, some peppermint tea. And then
Yeah.
I had my smoothie, and I'm absolutely not hungry at all. So
Amazing.
when we start getting live foods, it sends a message to our body that it's satisfied. But we also need good fat, we need protein.
Yeah.
And we need the right kind of carbohydrates, not the refined, but the vegetables, especially the complex with the high fiber. So things like broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts are very, very rich. And kale would be in that group as well, of cruciferous vegetables, very high in fiber. We want good high fiber diet, good oils. And let's go over that because you'd mentioned that earlier.
That's next.
Seed oils really have been shown in scientific studies to contribute to inflammation and to obesity. And so
Wow.
we want to get the seed oils out of our diet. It's a hot topic right now. If you go
Yes.
to TikTok, Instagram, a lot of conversation about seed oils, but it's all in sound bites. Most everything 60 to 90 seconds. And so people are
Yeah.
going, what? What?
Yeah.
A little confused. But let me give you the seed oils. What are
Please.
they?
Yeah.
Corn, soy, canola, which is rapeseed, and then safflower, sunflower, grapeseed oil, rice bran oil, cottonseed, and peanut. So those are your seed oils. Some of them refer to them as the hateful eight plus one.
Right.
But you want to get those oils that are also often labeled vegetable oils out of your diet. And you
Mm.
want the good oils. And so let me give you those.
Yes.
Olive, coconut, and avocado are your just perfect oils.
Yes.
And so we want to replace the oil in our pantry, get rid of those oils, the ones I just named, and the worst of them are corn and canola and soy, because they're also genetically engineered crops. So we've got a double whammy. They're
Mm.
processed to create toxins, and then they're also genetically engineered crops. And so if you go to the good oils, the olive oil or coconut oil or avocado oil, that's going to really help you cut down on inflammation. Also, coconut oil is known to be a slimming oil. It's dominated with medium chain triglycerides, medium chain fats, and the liver loves to burn them. So that creates thermogenesis, meaning you're going to be burning more calories just by using coconut oil. And
Oil.
so
Yes.
it's a slimming fat. Years ago, I wrote the book, The Coconut Diet, and so many people were getting coconut oil for the first time because it had really been demonized in our country during the 50s, 60s, and 70s and
Right.
80s, even into the 90s. And then early 2000s, people started talking positively about coconut oil again.
Hmm.
After it was in the 30s and early 40s, it was known as the healthiest oil on earth. And then it got demonized.
Yes.
And now it's back, and it's back and popular. We've
Yes.
been through some crazy eras, but it is very helpful for weight loss. Also, you can have ghee, which is known as oil of butter or clarified butter as well.
Okay, very good. Now, what do you say to people? After someone watches this show, they're going to go into their kitchen, and I'm sure they're going to look in there and say, most half their products have seed oil. What do
Uh,
they do?
they do. So there we go. We have to read labels, right? And
Yeah.
I'm in shopping with my little magnifier glass that has a light on it, or my phone where I can take a picture of a label and blow it up,
Mm.
because we want to avoid items that say vegetable oil or like corn or soy or canola oil in there. And we want the foods that have olive or avocado or coconut oil as the oil of choice in that food. And so more and more manufacturers, though, are now going to healthy oils. Like you can see now at Costco, big bags of popcorn, organic popcorn with olive oil and sea
Mm.
salt, even
Yes.
chips, and everybody's probably going to have them from time to time for a little snack. But you
Right.
can find them now with avocado oil or olive oil and sea salt. And you can find salad dressings now made with just olive oil, no other oils, and vinegar and spices. Like Bragg's is a good brand. They
Right.
have
Yes.
the vinaigrette or the sesame ginger, and they don't have sugar in it. It's honey that they use to sweeten it. So that's a good brand. You can find at even Costco olive oil mayonnaise now.
Mm.
So and crackers, you can find crackers
Huh.
with a good oil, not with a seed oil. But we have to hunt a little harder. It
Uh-huh.
isn't just every brand you'd pull off the shelf. But as we do, and as we vote with our wallets, we are going to get better choices all the time because
Yes.
manufacturers want to sell their product, right?
They sure do. They sure do. So you're saying seed oils can cause inflammation and obesity?
Yes, and there are scientific studies to prove that. In my latest book, I just want to mention that really quickly. The truth about seed oils.
Wow.
Um,
Nice.
we have a whole chapter on how seed oils have contributed to all these different conditions like obesity, cancer, diabetes, metabolic
Oh,
issues.
goodness. And if you go online, of course, there's an argument from the food companies saying there's no problem with seed oils. That's all a myth and blah, blah, blah. A lot of pushback, you know?
The pushback.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
let me paint a picture for you, and maybe you and all your listeners want to decide. So they take seeds, little fragile seeds, and pour them in big vats and apply very high heat, like 500 degrees. That starts the breakdown. They're little fragile seeds. They're polyunsaturated fatty acids in there, meaning there are at least two sets of double bonds that those break very easily, like heat, light, oxygen, break those down. Well, high heat is going to start breaking them down. They create free radicals, toxins that is going to create oxidative stress in your body. And then that leads to inflammation, but it doesn't stop there. Then they pour in hexane, which is a very toxic chemical, and
Okay.
that's to extract the last bit of oil. Then they have to deodorize it and neutralize it and bleach it so that it
Mm.
doesn't come out dark and smelly like it did at the turn of the last century. That's how they first got the oil. Cottonseed oil was this process, but no bleaching and neutralizing agents. And so it was dark and smelly, and they used it to lubricate machinery. That is what we're eating. We're eating machinery lubricant that has
Goodness.
been cleaned up a little bit more to look golden
Oh,
and pretty in a bottle with no smell and no taste. And
no.
it's all just chemicals and heat and refinement. But if you see that big slurry going around in the vat with all those chemicals and foam and crud, you're going
What?
to go, oh, yuck. And
Yeah.
yet we're told by the other team, the other side, that this is heart healthy. Wait a minute. When it came on the scene, when the coconut oil couldn't get through the waters during World War II, they stepped up production and rolled out in big time these oils, these vegetable oils, as being new oil for the modern cook. Called it vegetable oil. And don't you want to be modern and get rid of that old tallow and lard and bacon fat and butter and red meat and dairy cheese? Get rid of all of that. We don't need that, you know. Let's go with the new modern oil. And they created cookbooks. And then the war ended and something else showed up, and that was heart attacks. It went
Mm.
up big time. And instead of saying what changed in the American diet during the war, they did autopsies and looked at the plaque that was collected in the arteries and found fat and cholesterol in there. And they didn't look at what was underneath, which was irritated arteries that caused it to collect there. And what was irritating it was the seed oils, and sugar came in big time then too. So sugar does that too. And smoking as well. And that was a big time for smoking. More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette was
I
the
mean,
ads. Yeah.
yes.
And so instead of looking at the irritation, they looked at the plaque. Then they blamed fat and cholesterol. They blamed all saturated fats. And so they said, now you've got to go to these vegetable oils because they are heart healthy and they will help prevent heart disease. But it hasn't worked. Heart disease is still the number one killer
Number
in
one.
America. We've got
Yes.
to get rid of those seed oils that are processed horribly, creating very toxic byproducts like aldehydes and lipid peroxides, and wrecking our body, creating inflammation, creating irritations in the arteries, causing people to gain weight, and go with the good oils that are processed in the old fashioned, more traditional ways. That's olive, avocado, and coconut oil.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Whew. That is something to be aware of and to be afraid of what's going on right now with seed oils. And I'm saying that because I noticed just recently, I normally I get these energy bars. They have omega-3 advertised on them. And so I said, let me do a little deeper dive and see what else is in there. And I'm looking, I see the canola oil, the palm oil. I say, I'm going to be interviewing Cherie about this. This is not good.
Right.
So
It's
I'm like,
not.
okay, even myself could be duped into thinking I'm eating healthy.
Oh, absolutely. And that's their goal. Follow the money is what they always say.
Yes,
And the seed oil industry is projected to be a $600 billion business by 2031.
it's going to increase.
Yep. And so it's a turf to fight for. And they are going to fight for it. They're going to tell you, oh no, you need these seed oils. They're rich in linoleic acid, and linoleic acid is so important, and everybody needs it. That's true. But we don't need it in the toxic form. We're
Right.
getting it in from these seed oils, and we don't need it in the amount we're getting it in, which is
Hmm.
way out of whack. It should be about a 4-to-1 ratio for uh, omega-6 to 1
Okay.
omega-3. We're getting about a 20-to-1, maybe a
Oh,
30-to-1, way out of balance. And so we need to really lower our omega-6s and increase our omega-3s. And that is going to bring balance to our body. It's going to cut down on the inflammation, especially getting those omega-3 fats in
right.
our diet. And so, and then they also point to studies saying, well, they found that people that ate a high vegetable oil diet, high in linoleic acid, had lower LDL. Well, LDL isn't the end all anymore. They've had studies showing as many people die of heart disease with low LDL
Hmm.
as with high. So that's not the end all. What you want are the foods, the oils, the fats that
Yes.
lower inflammation in your body.
That is the key. Inflammation. That
Yes.
is the key. And you can raise your omega-3 or get more omega-3 into your body and into your diet by eating certain fish like salmon,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and trout,
Trout,
sardines,
sardines,
mackerel,
right?
but also, and some people don't like fish at all. Well, you have some other options, thank goodness. Walnuts are very high in omega-3s. They also give you some good linoleic acid, and we don't need a whole lot of linoleic acid. Like they're saying, one little handful of nuts or seeds, and you've got it for the day. That's all you need. But
Right.
walnuts are going to give you a lot of omega-3s. So you could do walnut oil. It always has to be cold. You can't cook with it. Don't heat it. It's very, very fragile. Always refrigerate it when you open it. But you could have walnut oil. You could sprinkle some walnuts on your salad, put some in your smoothie, make
Yeah.
walnut milk. If you do a plant-based milk, walnut milk is excellent. It tastes great and it's giving you omega-3s. But then there's flaxseed and flaxseed oil. Grind
Yeah.
up your flaxseed. They're very hard outer coat, so those seeds are it's
Oh,
hard to
yes.
stew them up. You have to pretty much grind them up.
Yes.
And you can sprinkle that on your smoothie or your
I do.
salad,
I do.
or take a tablespoon of flaxseed oil before you go to bed at night. I do that most nights. It's
Wow.
great for your heart, your brain. It's so good for your
Mm,
brain
so
and for your
good.
skin, your hair, everything. Hemp seeds and hemp seed oil. I love hemp seeds in salads. I think they just have a really delightful flavor and texture. And hemp seed oil is also very, very good. Here's one that may surprise you. Egg yolks are rich in omega-3s. We were told to throw them away. For
Right.
3 decades, we were told to throw them
Yes.
away. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness. But yeah, and get pastured because it's going to have more omega-3s. The chickens that can run around and hunt and pack and get bugs and grass and sunshine, excuse
Right.
me, much better for you. But
Hmm.
here's something. New studies came out this year. One from Loma Linda University and one is the Seventh Day Adventist study. And they found that people that ate more eggs, like 5 days a week, had lower Alzheimer's, 27% lower than
Really.
those that had the least eggs of 1 to 3 times a month. So, how cool is that? So,
That is
have an
cool.
egg.
Have an egg. Oh, yeah. I mean, you say have an egg. It doesn't matter if it's scrambled or boiled.
Well, they found that the best way to prepare it is to preserve the yolk, have it runny. So, like a soft boiled egg or an over easy, a sunny side up egg, or a poached egg is the best. But there are people who say, oh, but I only like scrambled eggs. Okay, go
Yes.
ahead, scramble your egg. Or if you're working and you want to grab an egg, a hard boiled egg for work, have the egg. We're just telling you the very best way to cook it, but don't
Yes.
let it discourage you from having your egg on the run, your hard boiled egg, or some people just adore deviled eggs, egg
Right.
salad, whatever.
Right.
Enjoy.
Okay. Good. 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 Good advice. But what about you talked a lot about seed oil, which is great. I'm never look at seeds the same after this. Okay. But now, what about hydration? Because it's important that we stay hydrated. So where does drinking water fit into all of this, especially if you're juicing?
Water is so important. I'm so glad you brought that up because so many people are dehydrated and don't even know it until they get thirsty. And that means you're really dehydrated when you're thirsty. We should be drinking a minimum of 8 glasses of water a day. I'm in Arizona and it's hot, hot right now. So I
Yeah.
need even more. I probably need about 10 glasses of water a day. I drink water all day long, but it is extremely important. Our brain is a huge amount of water, about 70% water, very important for our mental capacity, very important for our muscles. It's a conductor, it transports nutrients throughout our body, and so we do not want to be dehydrated. I have a quick little story to tell you. I had a professor who was also a naturopathic doctor. I graduated at Bastyr University, it's a naturopathic university, and
Yes.
he said he had a patient that his wife sent him in. He didn't really want to be there, but he had a lot of stuff wrong with him. And so the doctor said to him finally, well, let's just start for a very simple place. Let's have you add this week 1 more glass of water to your
Hmm.
diet. Can you do that? And he agreed. He could do that. By the end of the year, he was not only drinking all the water that he should have, he did everything else the doctor recommended, and he was free of his conditions.
Really?
Start with a glass of water, up it, make sure eventually you're getting your 8 minimum per day, and see where that leads you.
So if you're juicing, does it matter? Do you need more water? Do you need less water if you're juicing?
Well, it is said that you could probably go with a couple glasses less because you are getting water from the juice. That's, the diehards say, oh, no, no, that, in addition to your juice, you need the water. But I look at it, you are getting water from that juice. And so at least then, if you're doing a couple glasses of juice a day, at least 6 glasses of water.
Okay, at least 6 glasses of water.
Yeah.
If you're juicing, how many times a day?
A couple times. Or if
Okay,
you do 1 glass of juice a day, then seven, 7 glasses of water.
okay. So do you recommend that someone starting out juices twice a day?
Yes. Oh, that would be wonderful. And you can pack them in all at once if you want. I start my day with juice, and I do several different types of juices, and I just pack them in all at once because mostly I don't juice later in the day. But whatever works for you. And some people say too, they're so busy. They just absolutely can't juice every day. Then you can do big batch juicing. It's really caught on. It's very popular. And some people make big batches at one time and then they refrigerate for a couple of days or they freeze some. So you can freeze in little glass jars, like maybe, jars that size, the little canning jars. Just don't fill them all the way to the top because they'll overflow or burst in the freezer. And then pull out a jar in the morning and or pull it out the night before.
Okay, that's interesting because I remember hearing someone say that you have to drink it right away after you make it. You can't just leave it overnight because it might lose some of its, I guess, nutritional value or enzymes. That's not true?
Well, you lose something. Yes, you always lose something the longer that things sit. But you know what? If you're keeping it in the fridge, if you're keeping it covered like it's in a glass jar, you're not going to lose that much and make it work.
Okay.
It just really bothers me when people say, "Oh, you have to be perfect, make it right now and drink it
Yeah.
immediately." Yeah, that's the best. But
Yeah.
you know what? If you can't do it, it's better to go with, the secondary and
Then
still
none.
get a ton of nutrients
Yes.
that you wouldn't get otherwise.
Yes, yes. I'm watching the clock. I know I only have a few more minutes with you, a few more moments, but I want to ask you, you also had the opportunity to work with the late George Foreman as his personal nutritionist. And he was definitely a fan favorite of mine. I mean, I admire the guy. What was it like working with George and what did that experience teach you about working with people, helping them to make healthier food choices?
I worked with George 13 years and
Wow,
represented the George Foreman Grill and worked with George personally.
wow.
He was a lovely person, the gentle giant, some people called him, often soft-spoken behind the scenes. He was funny. I was in the first infomercial, the one that the iconic one,
I've
that
seen it.
captured the world. And I did the cooking on the grills in that infomercial. He was funny. He had this kind of dry sense of humor, and all of a sudden he'd just come up with these funny little one-liners, and he'd go, wow, that's pretty funny. And and he was great to work with on set. He was very into health. That's why he wanted that grill. He wanted to drip away the fat, and cook burgers and vegetables. So we did a lot of grilling with vegetables on the side and the meat in this, on the grill. And he was really big into both. So I remember him on the set munching on grilled vegetables as we were presenting the grill.
Really?
Mhm.
That's good. That's good. But Cherie, for people who want to learn more about you, your books, your programs, everything you're doing, I know you're doing a lot. What's the best way for them to connect with you?
Please come to juiceladyinfo.com. That's my website where you can get a free ebook, the 7 anti-inflammatory juices, just right what we were talking about today. So please do come and get your free gift. And you can check out the juicer there. My code is there. If you want to check out the seed oils page, there is a landing page there, thetruthaboutseedoils.com, or you can get it from the homepage on the Juice Lady, and that has a 21-day meal plan that's free, an ebook. So you can get that. You can get the Seed Oil Scout link, which is a free trial app for Seed Oil Scout, which gives you restaurants that are seed oil free around where you live, and you can point your phone right at the bar on the package you're looking at, and it'll tell you if there's seed oils in there and other obnoxious stuff that you don't want to eat. So
Really?
that's also there. And then follow me on social media at Juice Lady Cherie, Cherie. I've got every day at least one reel, tips, recipes. Sign up for my newsletter, free stuff all the time. Come follow me.
Wow, I'm definitely going to follow you. It's been amazing. I have one more question though. Is someone, and I try to ask this question now with my Healthspan interviews, if someone watching or listening today could learn or could change one thing this week to add more life to their years, what would you tell them to do?
I can't say anything else but juice because I'm the juice lady. Add a glass of juice. One glass of juice a day can change your life is my motto. Add a glass of juice to your diet each day that you possibly can.
Well, I think that's a great way to end our conversation. On behalf of my organization, which is Body Scope of New York and 6 Weeks to Fitness, I really want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing your expertise and your knowledge with my audience.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Vince. It has been great to be part of your show. I love what you're doing. I love Healthspan. It's just fabulous. And congratulations on your new magazine coming out.
Thank you.
It's very cool.
And to everyone watching or listening, thank you for joining us on 6 Weeks to Fitness. And if you enjoyed this conversation, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could benefit. And remember, if you prefer to listen to the show, the 6 Weeks to Fitness podcast is also available on Apple and Spotify. So until next time, I'm Vince Ferguson. Stay healthy, stay strong, and keep adding more life to your years. God bless.